Hey, 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 hello. I am just checking audio and then we can get into the Minecraft gameplay. See you soon. All right, got a lot to get to today. Pull that up. Pull that up. Okay. Everything appears to be in order. First, we have to check out the survival world. I've got some stuff to show off. But I've also got only a little bit over 2 hours before I have to go do the dishes again. So we've got about that much time to get some considerable work done. And I'm thinking about making an auto farm or something so that you can watch that while I AFK and go do the dishes. Anyway, first off, I finally got my hands on an Unbreaking 3 book. So we can continue to upgrade the Prime Pants. But we do still have to put a trim on it, and I'll get right back to that. Secondly, I finished the cactus farm, as we planned out in an earlier stream. It's pretty snazzy, I'd say. Cactus goes in here. Bone meal goes in there. And I've got some spare glass panes, just in case. Pretty standard, really. With a few personal tweaks based on what I felt would work best. Used jack-o'-lanterns for lighting. And the redstone's back here. This makes sure that when that chest is full, and only when that chest is full, I feel like I might have messed something up here. I think this needs to be a block. I'll just put that in place for now. Yeah, because that is subtracting a power of 14 from that. So only when this is 15 will it put out, and 15 is the maximum, will it put out a signal strength of 1. Actually, can I put that there and then... No, okay. Only the dot. Curious. Well, once that's putting out a signal strength of 1, then it means it's full, and then this will power that, which powers that, which will come around here and flip which hopper is powered, and then that will let the cactus into the composter. And it kind of extended out to the other side of the mountain. But I came up with something to fix that. First off, I did a little bit of terraforming. You can't even tell that there's a giant box thing under here. And to cover up the sound of the water... Oh, well, I just froze it over. But to cover up the sound of the water, I made a little pond here that this waterfall is flowing into. So it sounds like it's a natural thing, as opposed to something that I put a bunch of work into. Not bad, I'd say. Not bad. What else? What else? Still haven't chopped that janky tree down, but it's fine, it's fine. I did some work in the creative world. Still thinking about putting the bed there. I don't have oak on me. I should grab some. Okay. And if not the bed, then something cool. But across from it will be this room, and this room can have a big fountain in it. And I actually did some work on that. Let's grab all of the armor trims, one of each of them, to see which I like best on the pants. Wait. Why did I have the sentry split up into 2 stacks? Oh, but I don't need that saddle. Why did I have that on me? I forget. I must have grabbed it from somewhere. And then this is using lapis, so I'll probably want to use lapis for it as well. I'll bring an iron and an amethyst in case I change my mind about that, though. Because I think purple wouldn't go too horribly with blue. That's the only snout I have, isn't it? Yeah. I should make a copy of that right now. Despite my somewhat slim amount of diamonds that I have available. Just because... Do I have the blackstone in here? I don't. It would be in the nether chest, but it's not. Which means it's in the nether. I should make a copy of it right now, just in case I manage to accidentally use it, or lose one, or something. Don't be magma cubes. Okay. It's just one blackstone, right? Oh, I see. It's cobblestone. Vex is cobblestone too, and so is toast. Huh. Interesting. Well. I will shove Snout, the other one, back in the chest. Afterwards, even if we use it. If we do decide to use it, though, I'll probably make an additional copy. It's nightfall. Let's fix that. Okay. Actually, out of curiosity, can you retrim something? You can. Good to know. Okay. So let's start with Lapis. Coast is interesting. It goes about as well as can be expected with Coast. Dune looks cool. I bet that would look cool alongside Coast. Rib is not... does not go with the one I already have, really. Sentry, it's got little flares on the sides. I don't know as it matches what I have. Snout. Ooh. 2 pixels in on the sides. It would look cool, but I don't know if it's what I want. Tide. The pattern doesn't line up, but it would still look cool. That one is tied. And Vex is just a straight line down the center of the paints, which wouldn't go with what I've got at all. I think Snout could be cool. Tide also could be cool. There aren't any ones that really look like they'll continue the pattern, though. Except maybe Dune. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use Dune. That looks cool. Maybe Nether Quartz would be even better. picturing that. Keeping that in my head. Tide might actually line up like that. Not Vex, not Rib, not Sentry, not Coast. I think I'm gonna try Dune. Alright, cool. And I'm gonna stick with Lapis for now. If I change my mind later, then I can change it later. Okay, I'll want to make an additional Dune trim. Amethyst, amethyst, there we go. And do I have sandstone on hand? I doubt it. I should be able to just make some, though. It is sandstone, yes? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Stick the sand back. Stick the Dune copy back, so I have 2. And let's trim this armor. Let me take the shield off. No. I like it. I like it. It looks funny in the back too. I like how that looks. It looks really cool together. All right. Yeah. And this is this perspective that I'm going to be looking at it from most of the time, so I'll actually make a new shield so that it'll be ready for when I need it as well. But I really need to clear out the rest of this room and shear the cyan sheep more. Something to do off camera, I guess. In fact, I'll add that to my list of things to do off camera. Clear out the sheep farm roof. Shear more sheep. Sheep farm tasks. There we go. Now I'll remember. 1 iron is fine. I had materials in there the whole time. Fortunately, I've got a convenient banner right outside. Not that. I think I had it like that. There we go. Cool, cool. And then I'll stick this in there. I'll take the enchantments off of these and repair them. There's little reason to do that outside of... to do that in here, outside of it sounding cool. I wish that repairing them in here gave them more durability than it does when you do it in your crafting inventory, because that would give you incentive to actually seek one out and do it there without making it too overpowered. But that's something to discuss another day, perhaps. Actually, Bunyan Breaker was in here, wasn't it? Yeah. And then combining these together was... Oh. That's 14. Whereas this is 24. 14 it is. And I can rename it for 15. And it's still got the Silk Touch, and the Mending, and the Unbreaking. But it is now Efficiency 5. Not bad. Any other chores that need to be done? Not that I'm noticing. Hello, what are you doing wandering in here? Nothing really has changed in the village since last time. And that indicates to me that it's time to swap over to the creative world and have a look at what I've done there. First off, I finished the walkways for this. It's nice and symmetrical, but it makes the whole thing look cluttered. Like I have a pillar there, and then a mirroring one there and there. And it looks cool, but a lot of the time you can hardly tell exactly what it is. And I used this to test what the villagers would do, and yeah, they'll pathfind in there okay. But I think I need to do it again and build it so that the entryway will strictly be on the sides. This side and the opposite side. Because as it is, it's kind of garbage. But that's fine. I can copy it over and work on that, and then I actually used some clone commands to make a copy of the bridge and then move it slightly so that I could use it adequately. So I'll just do that again and then work on the side instead. And that's just fine. The duplex is going to be a lot easier to build than this thing is. Yeah. Still have to make the side entries for this thing. I'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. What next? Oh, yes. One big thing. I managed to find the location of spawn, and boop. Now I'm back here. And I did a lot of testing on stuff. I did this to see if it would... That's functioning? Yeah, that's functioning. I did this to see if it would be able to handle a large amount of spiders. And it doesn't. They very quickly become overwhelming. But more importantly, I rigged this up, and it's not good. Because the spiders can just fall out. It might be okay, though, because if I make it so that the spiders can only climb up into this, then eventually they'll go in there. And they won't get stuck on the sides or anything. They'll just hang out down there until they eventually get sucked up into this. Oh, I can see some of them are falling out of the water stream here as well. So I'll need a big open space here. But eventually they just fall, and if I space it out right, then they'll fall and be left on half a heart, and then I can just punch them. But I ran some tests, and at a normal pace, around a third of the output is falling out of the stream and splatting down there. So that definitely needs to be fixed in some way. But I did this to simulate the random, and I tossed in some additional items into the droppers so that they would become randomizers. For example, now this one will only trigger 1/4 of the time. And it would randomize between 1 and 4 cave spiders spawning in each of those chambers. But I also hooked this up so that I can have a quick teleport back. Boop. Very nice. And then I came over here, and I worked on this more. And this is the design that I want to use for the entry to the sewer area, because I've decided to keep going with that. And I actually figured out how to guarantee a tripwire trigger even in a larger area like this. You block off it with chains, and then if you're right here, in order to pass through, you have to hit the tripwire. And if you go through here too, it triggers there as well. And this works too, because this water is pouring down there, and you can see it just goes through. But water on chains won't pass through like that. It doesn't. But it can be waterlogged. So what I did was... this allows the water to flow down, and it stops here. And then it keeps going because these chain blocks are waterlogged. But the other chains are here so that it won't flow out and occupy the whole space. So you can jump down here. Oh, and now I'm stuck. Maybe have a way to get out, like a vine or something. But I can jump down here and free fall down and land safely in water without having to slowly slog down a waterfall with the water slowing my descent like that. Free falling is faster. But I also used the tripwire as a trigger for this little music jingle that I wanted to add. And I'll actually pause the background music that I had going so that you can listen to it closely. Oh, activating it too many times screwed something up, clearly. Alright, let's let that pass. Yeah. That'll do it. Okay. Okay, so. And I actually had a secondary part of the jingle there that was supposed to go with it. And I was torn because I don't know how to best represent this music in the game. But how I did that was the tripwire activates this, and then it loops around. And then it loops around again, because in the song it repeats. But then it stops, and how I did that was I've got a little T flip-flop here, and that is triggering this line, and this line locks this repeater. So when I hit the tripwire, it turns this on, changes the state of the T flip-flop. Ta-da! So that allows it to pass through the first time, but when it does that, it moves this over and it flips the T flip-flop again, it flops it, and then that locks this again, so it stops right here. I'm still not really truly happy with this song because I couldn't get it to sound like how I wanted it to. For example, it was originally also supposed to have a little bit of a backing instrumental that goes like. And I didn't do that quite right, but it goes. Um, and I couldn't get that to work. This was finicky. I think I showed it off at some point earlier. I tried making a clock down here to trigger them in order, but also only allow one of them to work at a time. It didn't work. And this was the first design for a T flip-flop that would trigger from the same line without using any pistons. And I actually got that to work. And this may come in handy at some other point. So when you switch it, this one turns on, and then this one turns on, and then this one turns on, and then that one turns on, alternating. And it does that by having these subtract from these on either side. So only the one that is off will actually allow a signal to go through. And then once that happens, that powers that and then turns that off and turns that on. And then on a slight delay, it then swaps it. So then the next time, the signal will go through the other side. And then swap it again. Hang on, time, set, day. But I came up with a number of other possible music tracks to use for it as well. And I had a bit of a hard time choosing the instrument that I wanted to go with, so I laid out all of the possible note block instruments here. These designs are still cool, but I'm not sold on them. Although this one does have a benefit of allowing you to sprint through it faster. I still have to figure out a way to cap it off at the end, I think, in order for that to be practical. Anyway, this one was an interesting one. And I had a secondary track that was meant to go with it, but I couldn't figure out the timing to get it to work well with the other one. It's not great. So I rigged up this little thing here so that I could lock either side and then hit the button to hear only that side. There's supposed to be a cymbal crash at the end, but I couldn't figure out how to really replicate that sound. I did come up with something that might work. And that's me turning on the something. But it doesn't exactly sound like a cymbal crash. So I don't know. I actually figured out how to make a funky clock here. Yeah, it constantly activates one of these, and they burn out eventually because they're activating too fast. That's an intentional feature. But when one of them burns out, another one of them just turns on, and it just keeps going, and it becomes this really fast clock that makes an annoying noise. And I don't know what purpose that would serve because there are other ways to get clocks that fast or even faster. But hey, it's something to consider. And then I came over here and I did a similar method of testing one side or the other. And I came up with this little song. And I like that. And then if you do the other side, and when you combine the jingles, it sounds like this. And I really like that. I think I'm going with this one. I'm not 100% sold on the instruments, and I'm not 100% sold on the notes on this side. Let's listen to that again. But I definitely want to stick with this because I like how it sounds. And I can probably save on a lot of repeaters by figuring out a way to make this more efficient. But I'll sort that out off camera too. But in the end, this will be the entryway, and then that tripwire will trigger that music instead of this monstrosity. And then I want to put a statue here, a big fancy fountain that has a base that spits out water like that. Yep. And then it'll go down there, and then I jump down here, and I'm in the sewers, and there's a fast track straight over to the village area, under the village. And then there'll be one that goes off over to the other side and plop straight down down to bedrock level. So a very quick way to get to both of those areas. And then I'll have from bedrock level and from down in the sewer itself, I'll have a bubble column that shoots straight up through the fountain. But I still have to design the fountain, and that's what we're going to do today. 2 bubble columns, one for inside the sewers, one for down at bedrock, all the way up here. And it has to look cool. I want it to look cool. And I'd like for it to be made out of stone variants too, because that's what statues are typically made out of. And I could defy convention like that, but anyway, this is my notes on the song. I'm scrapping the song though. All of it can go. Yeah. That pretty much sums up what we're going to do today, and I only have an hour and 40 minutes left to do it. But we're going to do that, and then we're going to work on gathering the materials to build it in the survival world, maybe even build it in the survival world. And we're going to start digging out the long tunnels as well, and maybe, hopefully, get a working sewer tunnel design, because this isn't really doing it for me. And I'd like the smooth pipe-like look, but ultimately I think that's not going to happen. And I need to have a better way to spit it out above the long abyss tunnel anyway. Alright. It's a positive X that way, so if I fill that, my location +1, my Y value -1, and then 20, and then 40 in the X direction, probably, maybe 30. Still -1 because that doesn't need to change. And then -20 so that it'll go to the other side. Cyan, concrete, keep. This is not cyan, this is gray. Okay, let's try that again. Gray, concrete. Replace cyan concrete, specifically. And then let's extend that range out a little further because I don't know if I'm standing in the exact middle, really. There we go. So that specifically replaces cyan concrete. If there was, say, an air block in there, it wouldn't have replaced the air block. Okay. For starters, let's represent the... And then this doesn't have to be exactly like that, but any one of these, or all of them, can be in fact, those can even be slabs. If I want them to be. You know, I'll represent that by having one side be slabs and one side not be slabs. Uh-oh. That's... Oh, no. I did it wrong. It has to go down a smidge before it overlaps with the chain. Like... Nope. Wait. Like that. Let that run down. Perfect. No. Why are you doing that? You weren't supposed to do that. What did I do over here? What is it I did differently? Bicket. Figure these out. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, okay. And that represents that. They don't all have to flow in. There could be slabs here. There could not be. And these ones can be stairs. Of any kind. So I can get out. And... There we go. No block plays. Why? Oh, you stepped on that. see. Nope, no shelter for you. Let me just break that. There we go. What was this? I think that was going to be a double note, but I never actually resolved that. Okay. No, that's fine. Oh, no, all of them do have to be flowing down, don't they? So that doesn't look weird. Well, I could do as few as that, and that, and that, and it would still look fine. Or just these three. In fact, I'll represent that like so. Could be that one, and that one, and that one. Or it could be all three in the back, and only the three in the back. Yeah. What happens if... What happens if I put a water bucket there? Will it mess up the look? No. So I could have a basin here, and then that could flow into this, which could flow down there. And then this could be like that, if I want. Yeah. Or like that. Either way. So let's see, what would I want it to be made out of, really? And these were in there for no block experimentation. Oh, and I've given myself permanent saturation, so if I go into survival mode for, sorry, no, game mode survival, then if something were to damage me, like for example, hello, I would instantly heal back up. And that was for the purpose of experimenting with these, because when you're in survival, you can left-click a note block, and before you break it, it will just play the note that it is. In creative mode, if you left-click it, it'll break instantly. And if you right-click it, it'll cycle, which makes it a different note. So if you just want to hear how it sounds, then you would have to cycle it all the way around again, which is why it's easier to test in survival. So let's get a block palette. Could make it out of clay. Don't think I'd like the look of that, though, and I would miss out on the ability to control certain shapes, like with stairs and slabs and such. So let's go with stone. Oh, and I could use these to augment the look of the thing. And then andesite looks similar enough that I could use this or that. Ooh, actually, is there a stone wall? There isn't. There's just stone brick wall or cobblestone wall. So if I need a wall in the statue, then it would have to be andesite. Or cobblestone. I could do cobblestone. Although polished blackstone, one standing on its own looks pretty natural, but blackstone. Oh, yeah, no, there is actually... Hmm. Blackstone, Blackstone stairs, Blackstone slab, but there's also polished Blackstone button and the pressure plate. Hmm. Hmm. And then if I want, I could toss in a gilded Blackstone stolen from a bastion just to look fancy. If I stick these out there. How different does it look if I put the button on it? Not that much different. I could use that for additional texturing without it looking horrible. And then that, likewise. It's a little ridge bit. It stands out. And then it's got all of the stairs and the slab variants as well. And the wall. I might want to make this out of Blackstone. That's... Or I might want to make a Blackstone statue somewhere else. Yeah, I can make a stone and andesite statue over in the village or out in front of my base or something. It's not every day that you find something that you'd really want to use Blackstone to build in such a strange situation as this. I doubt Blackstone buttons often get used for making statues or pressure plates or something. Gilded Blackstone. And then that basically just looks the same. But it's got little traces of gold in it. So it adds a little bit of flair. Okay, okay. This is cool. Alright, get. If I just scoop all of those away. Use this for testing. Actually, polished might work better for this. Chiseled polished. Polished. Polished Blackstone or polished Blackstone bricks. I'll stick these in there. And polished. Polished Blackstone bricks. Cracked polished Blackstone bricks. And the stairs. That's deflate. Okay. So I could go with the stairs. I could go with the polished, or I could go with the polished brick. And this may influence what I do for the pipe, ultimately. That looks sort of grayer, but only because there's less of the darker pixels in there. It kind of looks like a skull. Like a cartoony pixel skull. And there's another one there. That pattern repeats all over on these. I wonder if that's intentional. Or mere coincidence. Okay. Let's say I... make this look like a basin. And then maybe there's a wall there of stone. And then, for good measure, this would look like this. And then it could open up like so. And get taller too. And then I could easily scooch around the outside. And then, for the sake of looking cool, I could have stone stairs shuffled in here for the effect when I come back from down below. Like that. So it looks a little more rough around the edges. And then this would all be stone. Unless I make this polished black stone as well. Which... I'm torn. I think I'll go with just stone there. And then that goes off into either hallway on either side. And then above is stone like so. Actually, I think it's more like that. Yeah. Ah. Maybe it doesn't need to open up quite so large, but then let's say, shuffle those away, stick those back out there in case I want to use them. And then maybe a rim around the outside. Let's see. And I can easily walk around there. maybe a set of scales, or something with hands stretching out to either side, or stick those away for now so that I can bring these back out. That's not quite enough room, I don't think. I think it will need to open up about that far at least. And then I'll want more depth to it as well. And then I'll just extend it out much further and then see how wide and long it actually ends up becoming. Brainstorming time, sign. Okay. Scales. Hands. One to either side. And then the bubble column can come up through that. It could be something that has personal significance to me in this world, like a frog, or it could be something related to my channel, like a jar, or a cookie, or a cookie jar. That one's probably the dumbest one of them so far. Or something super Minecraft involved, like an Enderman, or what other things work with water? I don't want a big drowned in my base. I hate those things. Big bucket. And then the two fountains coming up would be incidental. What would the gold look good with? Panning my pan miner. Gold panner. Something magical feeling, or something giving a sense of safety and security. Give me a sec.